Good, thanks, and you, Zeus?
Slacker boykies, slacker. It's chilled. It's a Thursday. Best reason for doing this show on a Thursday is because tomorrow is Friday, and everyone could have a bit of a laugh before we do this shit on a Friday. So, welcome, people.
Gotta enjoy it.
Yeah. We're flacey. That's the only way to do it, gents. If you don't have a flacey on the fire, then don't bother. Go home.
Yeah,
Go drunk at home.
there's a
You know what I
reason.
mean?
Yeah,
Oh,
there's a reason why
boots.
Friday rhymes with Friday.
Is there a reason that my phone keeps falling off this fucking table? It's like, hey, bro, jy gaan nie stream vanaf nie. Jou peel. Okay, anyway. Okay, gaan nie meer stop. Cool.
Now. I honestly only think it's going to be working now. Yes, there we go. How's it going, everyone? Sorry, a small technical difficulty that we ran into there. Streamlab seems like it doesn't like my mic, but yeah, we are back. Episode 2. Like I said, I gave a whole intro and looked like a retard doing it because there's no audio coming out of my mouth. But let's go. Episode 2. We are jumping in with a few topics this week. It's going to be a bit of a discussion into the side of what we would like to start doing. It's the current state of the gaming industry that we would like to talk about, and how we would like to see a few things change. What we can do to help change a few things in the industry. I mean, with us being in the industry itself, with playing in esports, multiple different sides, content creation, all those kind of things. Naz is busy with the music production and all that. So there's a lot of things that we can do as Extra Bravo, and once again, this is going as the Extra Bravo show. So of course, what our current state is with it. Then we'll also like to chat about what our plans are for the future for EXO and what our plans are overall for EXO. So yeah, gents, let's get into it. I think let's start with the first topic of the discussion of what you guys think the current state of gaming is, and this goes in multiple directions. Kaj and I had a quick discussion just before the podcast started about
We did.
about the different levels of what the industry is of, if I can put it that way. It's the multiplayer side, the game development side, the production side behind all of it. So I would like to see what your guys' opinion is on what the current state of the industry is. I think, Naz, if I'm correct, yeah, let's start with you. Let's get your
Same
insights.
shit every week. Right, first, I want to say a big shout out to indie developers. Okay, those guys, they make life worth living at some points. You know, when the AAA title just doesn't go as well as Anthem, so we expected it to go. You know, we are thankful for these little 160, $150 Steam games that keep our library going. You know,
I'm gonna chip in there just very quickly. I'm gonna chip in there because I'm gonna give a shout out to these guys, specifically South African game creators that made fucking Boot Fighter.
Boot Fighter. There's another company that made there's another South African game. I can't remember the game, but also South African developers. I can't remember your guy's name, but you had like a Fallout kind of feel in Josie, if I'm not mistaken. Shout out to you guys as well. So yeah. No, Boot Fighter was great. It was a game to play. You know. So regarding the entire AAA title and the multiplayer scene, I would like something that brings back that nostalgic feel of competitive play. Giving a brief idea, League of Legends World Championships is coming up now at the end of the year, and it's my highlight of the year. You know how people have like American football or FIFA World Cup this year, Baba, we're gonna dollar footy, ne? Yeah, we're gonna watch that as well. It's two championships 1 year, lacquer boys. Anyway, so yeah, League of Legends has like their yearly championship, and every year there's something in the game that pulls me to go and watch these championships. It's not necessarily the players themselves, but it is the way that they utilize certain aspects of the game that I've not thought of before. The way they strategically plan around a Baron pit or a Drake pit, it's something in League that I haven't found really much in other multiplayer games. Yes, there's many people gonna throw cans and poo and this and that. As my personal opinion, I haven't found something like that. It's the same with old school COD and old school CS. It's just if they could bring out a game that harnesses a proper 2010 to 2013 core mechanic, I think that is something that will sell.
All right, so I don't know if you're following the news and all that. I know you specifically like Tarkov as well, with the extraction shooter and all that. Have you heard about the new game from what's Dr. Disrespect?
No, I have not.
So basically, he wants to implement a game that's basically the old school Call of Duty, mixed with a little bit, of course, with the newer generational stuff as it is. But he wants to make it as an extraction shooter.
Okay.
So with
Okay, Tarkov style.
yeah, a bit of a Tarkov style, I think. I know he played a lot of it on stream and all that. And I mean, with him being the two-time, like he always says he is, the one with the steroid needles in the thighs before he streams. But with all his PUBG streams, the Fortnite streams, he has multiple shooters under the belt. So do you guys think that can be a positive stance in the industry, or do you think that's just going to be another hyped up game, but it will never actually succeed to where it's supposed to be?
But it sounds like it's got a lot of potential. But we got to see what it's like when it comes out, how it plays.
Yeah, especially the
How-
beta.
Yeah, how the audience takes to it as well is an important factor.
So Ned, if you say, let's say, with you saying that you would like back the older way and feel of games, like shooters and all that, with Modern Warfare 2019 Call of Duty that released, I know a lot of people say that the mechanics are quite good, the way of working, and I've been playing Modern Warfare. I only bought it now 3 years after the release. Hello, late to the party like always, but I must say it is very easy to work with. The mechanics and all that's very easy to work with. But now with the hype of Modern Warfare 2, working on the same engine and all that, do you think that's also just going to be a hype up? Or do you actually think that can turn the genre for Call of Duty? Because, I mean, I'd say the two, since Cold War, it was Cold War and Vanguard. Not one of the two got positive reviews from the players. I mean, the pro players are busy playing it, but they're not getting good responses from it. The servers are shit. The game is shit overall. So do either one of you guys think that it's going to bring back the genre for Call of Duty, or do you think it's just going to be another flop on the more futuristic side?
I personally, I don't have any opinion on it just yet. I haven't done enough research on it to see what they want to implement. But if it is as as you say, then it might. But here's the thing that made COD awesome, right? You woke up on a Saturday morning and you wanted to play Call of Duty. You know what I mean? It was that feeling. I mean, if Diablo is here at any point, that guy has thousands of hours on Call of Duty. He played 66 almost every single day. And that is something that was part of that time. You know what I mean? It was that feeling of I want to play a game. Like, not like I bought this game, it's a good game, it piques my interest, but I'd rather go back to something more classic or something more familiar because that isn't keeping my interest as long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you think maybe then that game developers that are staying in the same franchise aren't going to be able to deliver something as good as what they did in their earlier games. It's just always going to be a letdown after.
Let me just say something. Okay. I don't know if you guys ever heard of a game called Stockmint. I think since 2011, it is still in alpha.
Okay.
I didn't know much about this game until one of my mates told me about it. Again, Diablo, shout out to you twice in a row, man. GG. They're working on something quite remarkable. It is architecture that doesn't exist. I do not have enough. The way I would explain it would make it sound like a monkey. So if anyone wants to go check it out, go check it out. Server meshing on Star Citizen. Check what they want to do, but basically you will not connect to a singular server. You will connect to a point where you were in the game that is around multiple servers, and you will travel to multiple servers without any loading screen. So you will literally fly from one solar system that is on server A all the way through a bunch of servers to get to solar system B. That is the idea of server meshing. Now that is exciting. That is new tech. It is something that doesn't exist. It is something that this company is literally inventing, because there's something like that doesn't it's not out there. And I think if they can implement it and actually get a working system, it will revolutionize the way that we play MMOs in total. And I think that could be a resurrection for MMOs themselves as well, where you would literally sit from Friday to Monday morning and just play WoW, because what else are you going to do? You level how many ever, killing as many of the bountiful bambinos running around you as you can find, and giving their lives hell because you're a god at the game, and that's how it is. You know? And I think that is what we need. We need something that unites the gamers on a front that has never united us before. I mean, look when PUBG came out, or when Fortnite came out.
Oh yeah, when the Battle Royale genre jumped up. No,
I mean, you had mobile games bringing out more Battle Royales than I've ever seen mobile developers ever push out anyway, because it was such a hit. And I think that's what we need. We don't necessarily need a new COD or a better COD or a remastered COD. We need something with a twist and something that is new.
So would you suggest something like a full genre change? Like just before the Battle Royale scene was there for quite a while before everyone suddenly jumped on the bandwagon. I mean, H1Z1 was there. H1Z1 started actually from Arma 3 mod. It was a mod for Arma 3, which they made their own game out of it. Look,
wasn't Daisy also a mod for Arma 3?
Yeah, Daisy was also one that was made into its own game.
Was it mod? I can't remember.
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah.
I thought so.
So basically,
see, like that is something that changes. That is something that changes the game.
Look, I'd say something like Daisy and all that, it's a survival game, so it will stick more or less to what it is. It's a survival game. You get multiple games. It's just whatever you put differently into the game. I mean, Daisy introduced the fact of zombies that's roaming all over. It's not introducing something weird like super zombies or all that shit, but it does implement the fact that you have to be wary of where you go and how you do something and all those kind of different things. So, like, back on the Battle Royale field that we were just talking about now, it's back when Fortnite came out, the numbers and everything spiked up huge. That was amazing with whatever Fortnite did back in the day. Well, even up until now, I mean, you can currently play in Fortnite as of right now as Vegeta, Goku.
Yeah, I saw that release.
Yeah, you can do a fucking Kamehameha, take the guys out, bro. It's amazing. There's a lot of things that everyone can say. And one thing that I'll definitely bring up about Fortnite is everyone says, well, not everyone, but there's a few people that say DC's multiverse is the best. I will not agree because I'm not the biggest DC fan. I'll always stand with Marvel because Marvel's multiverse is much more complex. But then, bro, I'll stand by this to the day that I die. No one has a multiverse like Fortnite.
Yeah, crossing with a lot of industries.
Yeah, I mean, they crossed over with Sony. They brought in guys, well, both Sony and Microsoft with Xbox and PlayStation. They brought in guys like Halo's Master Chief. They brought in Kratos from God of War. Multiple other game names that they brought in. They brought in custom skins. They brought in, look, Fortnite's definitely one of those games that changed a lot. And everyone disses Fortnite because a lot of guys aren't very good at Fortnite. And I'll stand by my word. If you shit at the game, you'll always say the game is shit. So unfortunately, you aren't the best player. So that's most likely why you don't like the game.
The game and the game is shit. So
Thank you for acknowledging that. So
I just want to give a shout out to Mick over here for giving us a free key. Thanks, mate.
Yeah,
indie
there's a
games,
Steam
whoever
code
wants it.
for banging indie for any guys that pops in. So thanks, Mick. Appreciate that. So all in all, I do agree with the fact that we need something that's going to pop up again and take over the whole scene, basically. I just don't know what it's really going to be. It's like they tried a bunch of different games over the past now, and I know Ubisoft tried the thing. I think it's Ubisoft, if I'm correct, the one where you get on the roller rink and you play some other sport. I can't remember exactly what the thing is. It's
EA.
Oh, okay, then it's EA.
It was EA's dodgeball. It was a dodgeball kind of. It was.
Oh
dodgeball,
no,
right?
not even that. No. That was the Street Brawlers or something like that. That you threw the dodgeball and all that. No, it's not that. It's another game that you on roller skates and you. I can't remember what game it is, but in any case, they tried to change that. Everyone was super hyped for the game, but it didn't take off. So then another question that I want to put into you guys, and I'm going to ask you both this just before Kaiju gives his standpoint on whatever's happening. Do you guys think all of these changes comes from the way that they market the games? Or do you think the dip in how the people take the game is actually because they take too long to release the game? Or, I mean, let's put it this way. No game that I've seen the last few years has as much hype and as much haters as GTA 6 currently.
Yes. So I definitely think that the length it takes a game to come out can be disastrous if they build up attention towards it too early.
Okay.
Because then you're building up the hype and people are expecting it, they're hoping for it soon, and then they're left waiting.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's timing involved, and it needs to be like really looked at from a fine point of view.
So you'd say when releasing a game, you should time your release on the announcement, and then try and keep to a quite quick release after the announcement. So when you say quick release, what would you think would be a suitable time frame to make it work?
So, assuming that you have already got a beta program up and you've gotten feedback on your game and you've sorted out most of the kinks, I would say 3 months max.
Okay. So you say that's basically when you already have more or less a polished product, and then you announce it.
That's it.
Okay. Naz, your standpoint on it?
It's difficult. We have had a roller coaster of games in the last couple of years that have really grated our tits and tested our patience as gamers. Cyberpunk 2077 is a prime example of that.
Bro, don't break my heart. Don't break my heart.
And we are stuck on.
Oh,
anyway, so that was one of the things. But
how come is that a build-up?
They tried to recover. No, it's a build-up to something that happened similarly, but made a brilliant fucking turnaround. I'm talking No Man's Sky, gents. When No Man's Sky came out in 2016, people were like, hey, here's a game of the Spiel. We have to play this game right now. So when it released, it wasn't what the hype built it up to be. It wasn't this fantastic exploring. You could explore, but the planets were they barely had creatures. They barely had anything to do. There were hardly ships in the game. And then everyone wanted a refund, and it was a giant thing. So what did Hello do? And in my opinion, this is something that a lot of developers should consider looking at. If they do, they should consider looking at it more. Because what Hello Games did is they followed the community to get the game to where it is today. A lot of it is input from the community and how the community wanted to see the game change. And that's how the game grew into what it is. They have gone from one of the worst rating games on Steam to pretty much decent. You know, I won't say it's right up there, but it's decent. They have made a turnaround. They have done something in the gaming industry that very few companies can successfully do. And all of that, they have sent out 20 free DLCs. So everyone who bought the game were like, okay, cool. You know what? We ripped you off. We feel sorry or whatever the case was. But here we go for however many years. And this is 6 years later, they're still releasing free content. They're not selling a single DLC. I'm not sure how long it is still going to go on for like this, but it's something that I think is a lot of it is taken from the community. A lot of it is research that these guys have done. And I think that is what game companies need to go into, and they need to start checking out the statistics of different kind of genres and start finding a way to create something new instead of copying and pasting the Rust AAA title that they had. And then with the next one, they just add a few new shiny skins and sell your battle pass, and boom, a new rebooted game, but it's pretty much the same rendition as the one before. So what we need is, we don't need a copy and paste. We need something that changes the way that we look at the gaming industry. If VR wasn't as expensive, I think VR would be a brilliant step to go. That is the most interactive way you could possibly socialize with anyone 1,000, 2,000 miles away from you, is VR. But unfortunately, VR is expensive and not everyone can afford VR. But I think if VR had to become a more commercial thing, I think it could change the game. It could change the way we play any game.
No, I definitely agree with that fact. So I get what you said about the fact that they listened to what the community said, but I'm going to go back on something that I now know from personal experience. Once you are in the pro esports scene of a game, let's take for instance, I was in Rainbow Six Siege. So Rainbow Six Siege, unfortunately, Ubisoft, they also listened, but they only listened to the pro players. So the rest of the community would suffer because, yes, look, pro players are good at the game. That's a reason. There's a reason why they're professional. There's a reason why they get money to be they get the money to play the specific game for the organizations. So I get the fact that they try and get the bigger the people that actually get the money in for Rainbow Six Siege. I understand that they want to keep them happy, but they should also look at the fact of what the community says. Because a lot of the things...
Can I just interject there as well? And I think that's a little unfair from game developers. Because here's what happens, right? League of Legends does a very similar thing with the way that they patch champions. So they'll check, if you check now in the League of Legends World Championship this year, the most played ADC and the most played top lane that did the most damage, there will probably either be a buff or a nerf, most probably a nerf within the next patch, because the pro players have outlined where the
exploits basically are.
The exploits basically are.
Yeah, so it's basically like I'm gonna jump back again, like I said, to Rainbow Six Siege. The fact that when Bolo, for instance, started playing Finka with LMG with a 1.5 times scope, everyone all over all the servers, I mean, with exit lag, it makes it very easy to go over to your different, and this is not sponsored, by the way, to jump over to your different regions and different servers. So, I mean, I played on Southeast Asia. And doesn't matter if I played on South African, European, Southeast Asia, American, doesn't matter where I played. I would always get a Finka with an LMG each and every round. Doesn't matter if it's on my attacking side or defending side. So I kind of agree with the fact that like the pro players, they use, I won't say exploit what's going on, but they pick the character that's the easiest to currently run with, the character that has the least amount of attention currently on it. They pick that operator, that user, that creature, that whatever it is across all the games, and they just go with it. I mean, there's Warzone. Almost bi-weekly, there's an update to nerf and buff guns, where they nerf the hell out of the ARs and the SMGs that's currently in the meta, and they take it out completely, and you get new guns. So unfortunately for the guys that doesn't have everything unlocked and upgraded, you have to rework and put work into upgrade your gun to get in a competitive level again, to just play the game and enjoy the game. Otherwise, you won't be up and comfortable playing against most of the guys. So, Kaju, what's your insight on what the current scenario and stage is that the industry set for everyone?
I think there's a lot of potential in the gaming industry. It's been gathering a lot of influence and a huge audience and following over the past couple of years. And one of the companies that I'd like to highlight the most is Riot Games.
Oh yeah.
Because they haven't just stuck to their games, League of Legends and Valorant and all that, but they've branched over into other industries to sort of excite their fans and bring in more viewers to their pro level tournaments.
Yes.
And whatnot, their competitions. But one of the things that I think the gaming industry needs to look at is how to move more into the amateur level and monetizing that instead of just focusing on the pro level and the viewership that garners.
But
they can,
I fully agree with the fact of moving more into the amateur level and more for the average player. I mean, you will always get that dad or whoever that, even if it's not a dad, anyone just that comes home from work, from school, from whatever they were busy with, they just want to sit down, relax, pick up the controller, go behind their screen with a mouse and keyboard, just play the game, just enjoy it for themselves for a little bit and go to sleep. And I think in a lot of cases, that's too difficult to do, especially with a game like with the Call of Duty Modern Warfare range, the Siege range, all your competitive FPS shooters. Now, there's a reason why I state it as competitive FPS shooters. You will always get those guys that's fucking sweaty as hell. They're always going to try and push the angles from across the map. You can ask Naz, that's the thing that I did for fun. I didn't even do that to be competitive. I'll literally just do it for fun. But yeah.
Love it.
So then, especially in Modern Warfare, I would get a lot of guys that's literally, they rage over the fact of they get shredded up completely, especially when a pro player is busy playing in the lobby, and that you get that, especially when you play ranked leagues and all those kind of things. So then you would hear most of the people saying, "Yeah, but I just want to play and relax for a little bit. Why can't I just do that?" So in a sense, I actually think and agree with you, but one thing that's always going to be difficult is, even if they do put the focus into the medium average user, it's always going to have a competitive side. Somebody that's going to try and push to be the best. I mean, you can take sim racing as an example. I've been following the sim racing scene in South Africa for a while now, and for instance, in Formula 1 2021, I would always see the front runners be the same exact people all over and over and over. And the moment that it changed over to 22, the underdogs, the guys who was always at the bottom of the log, is now suddenly on the top. The other guys are struggling. They just can't keep with. So you're always going to get the one game that's going to highlight and pick you up as a personal player. I mean, most of us, even if you aren't the biggest FPS player, would know the name Scump from Call of Duty. He wasn't the best player, and suddenly from the one Call of Duty, he just jumped up and he stayed there. So there's always going to be that average player in that average groove. That's one game is going to pick up and he's just going to shoot out. And that's also a difficult thing to do. The only thing that I think can actually help that is skill-based matchmaking, but proper skill-based matchmaking.
See, when I say they need to focus more on the amateur level, I'm referring more to the amateur level that wants to progress. So more like amateur development.
Okay.
So like
Like
club
the boot
programs,
camp.
like boot camps and whatnot. Yeah, essentially.
So how would you, for instance, implement a scene like that?
I would try and follow more of a club route and moving into schools, developing esports teams in schools or youth development programs, and then building them up into more skillful players, more skillful teams.
I mean, that's
etc.
already there, dude. We got high school DGL leagues, man. There's an entire division just for high school leagues.
Yeah,
it's
but I
already
mean,
there.
the access to that and the infrastructure can be lacking in certain areas of certain
It's
countries.
actually a very good thing that you mentioned that, and this is kind of going to go down to the topic of what the future for Exo Bravo holds and all that, because I'm currently in the look, and you guys heard it first year on the podcast that I'm currently looking into the way of how Exo Bravo can become part of the scene on high school level, especially on high school level, on how to progress with players on a young age to push them up into a provincial level to play provincial or to play actually for a national team. Way back when I still played for the national team, it's similar to that. So yes, this is now the first announcement of it, but very, very soon, Exo Bravo will be the one point in, well, all esports of the main competitive groups that will actually be able to progress high school players into a position where they can actually either gain money from bigger orgs that would maybe later sign them, and we would be like a stepping stone for them, which would be 100% fine by me. I mean, there's amazing people out there with amazing talent
Yeah.
that just needs to be pushed into the right direction, given the right advice, and then pushed out of that. So I think the way that you highlighted the fact that high school people or school children or anyone that's busy pushing up with, like Nas said, the DGL high school leagues and all that, I definitely think there's a lot of potential in it. And like you also said, if you start from that, the people want to progress. So I think that's a good point and standpoint to work with it. Is there anything else that you would like to add to that?
No, that's an exciting thing for Exo Bravo for us all to go and move into. I did just want to touch on Naz's topic of virtual reality before we finish there. I definitely think that would be a game changer. However, I hope that virtual reality sticks more to communication.
Okay.
And I think that the gaming industry should look more at moving into augmented reality and putting their focus around that.
So let me ask both of you guys this. I know you said now the communication and all that in virtual reality, but I'm gonna use a real life thing now, and I know taking it into consideration that real life and VR is two different things completely. But in the current world where we live and the current situations that we are in, I mean, here in South Africa, we go through a lot of different things, and I'm not going to go into the political side of it, but there is a fact that way back our parents used to go through the army. It was a forced thing. You had to go and all that. That's not currently there. So look, discipline was something that was forced in the army and all those kind of things, and that's something you're not going to get unless your parents or the school teachers or whoever you are with doesn't discipline you. But the fact of how to as a man or woman or whoever wants to join the army, and they can get that physical experience of how to handle certain things, how to work with certain things, do you think it would be a good thing implementing something like that in virtual reality for them to still learn the basics of how to work with certain life aspects? Or do you think it should stick more to the communication side and just the normal enjoying yourself?
See, I think all of that can be moved into the augmented, because I think physical development is also a very important aspect to our future as a species, in my opinion.
Okay.
But I definitely think there are a lot of
Can-
skills
can we
that can
just-
be taught
Can we just
through the virtual
touch on
reality.
Yes, Naz.
Pokemon Go killed people? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's something you guys need to AR. Just remember, Pokemon Go killed people.
Yeah, but those people and
Yeah.
rest their souls and all that. But bro, when walking across the street, what's the first thing that they teach you in fucking grade R already? Look to your right, look to your left, look back to your right, look fucking back to your left before walking across the
No.
street.
I was
Yeah.
taught how to catch that Pokemon.
Well, to be fair, right, augmented reality games should be kept to like specific locations or like arenas
Yes.
or areas. But when
I mean,
when
technically speaking, what you're talking about is on that one episode of Rick and Morty where Rick was caught by the aliens trying to get his secret recipe for dark matter fuel.
Oh,
if I'm
yeah.
not mistaken. And
Yeah.
he's in a continuous loop. So as long as he keeps moving, the world is basically going to generate around him. That's basically something that you are looking to implement there, Kaiju.
I wasn't actually thinking of that. I was thinking more like from the HoloLens point of view or the AR contact lenses. I'm not sure if you guys have seen that.
Free
That's
guy.
actually entered human
Free
testing.
guy.
Yeah.
That's it. You put
You
the
know.
goggles on or whatever shape or spectacles that you actually want on, and you just see everything virtually.
Mm. See, I think
Yeah.
that would have a lot more value because then you could implement it into, for example, translation or gamifying certain aspects of life for motivation and incentivizing certain tasks.
I
All I
actually
hear
think
is Dave. Ek gaan met die coin. That's what I hear.
I
That's what I
definitely
see in
think
my
that
head.
fact can be worth something looking into. I mean, a while back with the Samsung Galaxy S9 release, they brought in Bixby. I think it was already on the S8, but it was fine-tuned on the S9, if I'm correct. And
You have 2 radio capsules.
there goes mine. So basically, a thing that they had was Bixby Vision. Now you would pick up your phone, push it over on your camera to whatever sign or whatever there is in a different language, and it would live translate whatever's on that sign to your language, so that you can understand what's on that sign. So I think if something like that was introduced into goggles and all that, the moment that you had your glasses, your goggles, whatever look you pick, because I know some people would like their normal glasses, some people would like contact lenses, some people would like these outrageous goggles or something to wear. Whatever
Like
your
a
pick
mask,
is,
a helmet.
yo, bro, listen. If they bring out a Predator mask with something like that, I'll be wearing that every single day. I don't care if I look like the biggest weirdo on the street. I'll be wearing that.
I will be next to you. We will look together saam. We will verskaklik saam. We will fucking look together. We
So-
will fucking woorde kom uit die mond uit. Maar ja, ek sal saam hier daar wees. Ons sal saam so like. Ons sal die
There we
mense
go.
jaag. Hulle
There
sal
we go.
hardloop.
So I think if we have a case like that where live translation is a thing, where it's not just for the gaming side of it will be fun and it will be funny to be with, and there's a lot of things that can actually be worth it. But I think if we implemented more towards the side, and I know this is more on the gaming podcast more than anything else, but while we are on the topic, I think the moment that you get something like live translation, anyone that's in a different country will understand what's currently said on a specific sign. If it's on a sign, if it's wherever, if it's a menu, they're sitting in a restaurant, they can't understand what they're reading, they can at least understand what it is. It's just going to unify. Yeah, it's going to unify the world, basically, if there's a case like that.
But is that not something that could just be implemented in normal gaming chats, in-game chats? Because that could be very helpful.
Well, I'd actually think that can be a very good thing. I mean, the moment that it should actually be quite easy to do in a sense. I mean, you implement the script that takes whatever chat you just entered, translates it into English, and that's it. English is widely known around the world. I know there's a lot of people that don't speak English. So before the chat goes down my throat for this, I know there's a lot of people that don't speak English. But majority of the world does. So the moment that
But you could
put
even
that
have the script run into the language that the user has selected.
Yeah, well, look, that's just the only thing that's going to be in effect on that is it's going to take a little bit more of your download space or whatever, because you're going to have to download the languages so that it can retranslate quick enough for you to actually have a live response
Yeah.
without
think
waiting
that's
for
where the problem
hours
comes in.
on what happens.
Mm.
All right, so
Yeah, I think that's where the problem comes.
I think I'm not even going to go into the topic of what I think the current gaming stance is. I'm just going to run through a very, very, very small side, and that's going to be more on the esports side of what's happening. And I just think that, like we mentioned earlier, a lot of the different companies, for instance, Rainbow Six Siege with Ubisoft, Warzone is not really that big. Warzone listens a lot to the community. So I'm not that stressed about them, but they must listen more to what the community wants. I know the pro players and all that's a very big influence on what should be taken into consideration, but your normal players, your average players, the people that wants to push up, the people that wants to progress is very, very important. And I know it goes back on what both Naz and Kaiju said, but we need to highlight the fact that the more that the companies start doing things like that, the more income they're going to generate from it all. I know, look, it's not always the best discussion to have, but unfortunately, money is a very big part of gaming. You can't develop something if you don't have the money for it. So the more they listen to the community, the more money is going to be put out towards it. A lot of people normally have the discussion of stop releasing shit skins and fix the problems that's in game. So yeah, I can promise you, if half of the games just start listening to the community, fix the problems that's mostly at hand, they'll make much more money than what they would while selling skins.
No, I agree. But I also think that they could also view themselves as more as influencers, and not just as game companies, because they get that sort of power over their audience and community. You know what I mean?
I know there's a specific game. I just don't know what the name is. It's basically you are this. You remember back in the day, Temple Run and all that. Now there's a running game that you jump over on different cars and trucks and all that, but the company that developed this game can access anyone's game at any given time. Now, it can't access your personal folders and all those kind of things. It just accesses your game. Then the admin can mess around with your game. So you'd, for instance, see this massive truck right in front of you that's going to be there, and the next moment it just disappears because the admin decided that he's going to take it out. And the community really likes the fact that they can do that. They make the game fun. There's something that it's you don't expect it. It just happens.
I mean,
A little bit of
something
creative
that,
talent.
yeah, something like that. I mean, but they only do this in a close to wipe is Escape from Tarkov. They have these shenanigans that they make the bosses spawn on all the maps, or all
my,
the bosses
bro,
on one map,
bro,
and
that 1 week where everyone was walking across all the maps. Where did
yep,
they? I can't remember where they went to. What that resort?
that's possible.
I think they went to resort, if I'm correct. That,
Well, but I
bro.
know the bosses traveled everywhere. They went
Yeah.
to every map actually. So that's something that's nice. I mean, Tarkov now actually they have a offline multiplayer now. You can actually do offline raids co-op. They put a goon squad on Tarkov that I think, if I'm not mistaken, roams all the maps, and they are created to kill PMCs. They are bosses that hunt you. You are not safe. You
Oh
could be shot out
my.
of buttfuck Tennessee and you wouldn't even know it. That is what makes them, well, Nikita Battlestate Games as a developer so great, is that they decide it's time for the fuckery. They just chuck a hand grenade in the brush and they check what flies out,
Oh
and that is what I
my.
love about them. They're not scared to take chances as developers and just throw. I mean, they locked the flea market and all the traders. I know they didn't lock the flea market. They locked all the traders. You couldn't buy or sell anything from any traders at all for a
Oh
week. And I
my.
think it was because Nikita stated on Twitter, if everyone likes the Twitter post, he'll do it. And he actually did it. And that's fun. That is the fun thing as a developer. At year end or wipe end, like a week, 2 weeks before the wipe, before the wipe now that happened in July, they opened labs. And for those who don't know, labs, you have to have a special key card that costs like 200K before you can go into labs. And labs is open. You had fucking Bambinos with pistols running around shooting like heavy kit to chat, because why the fuck not? It's something that the developer implemented in the game just to make it crazy, and not long enough that it becomes boring, but also not too short. It is about a 2-3 week trial period. You go there, you play these things, and then it's over. Next that's coming is Tarkov Arena. That is something else. I don't know how it's going to work. I still want to go check up on it. I don't know if you're taking your own kits, or will it be more like a Rainbow Six Siege kind of deal.
Yes,
I haven't read up
I
much
hope that
about
they
it.
can bring in like the fact that you can have, let's say for instance on the multiplayer game that they have, what's that game? So I forgot the game's name now. It's a game on Steam, but in any case, it's basically you get your same teams, but you play more in a Call of Duty setup. So it's more your team death matches and all those kind of things. So I hope, like you said, the Rainbow Six Siege vibe, so that they bring in more the tactical side of Tarkov, because Tarkov is very tactical. You have to think, you have to speak, you have to play together, especially if you're playing with people. So the fact that they can bring in
Yeah,
something like that,
this
it will be nice.
you're a prime example, mate. You're a prime. Hey, the hard clip is clip X to it. Yeah, that's how easy it happens. It's there's no, if you don't check armbands and you don't communicate clearly, then you will kill each other, and that's what I
So,
love about it. It's spontaneous.
so for anyone wondering what that was just about, that he just mentioned now, it's actually on my Twitch channel. It's one of the clips that I had there. I streamed Tarkov a while back, and we were 4 people playing. 2 of us said that we're going in a certain direction. The other 2 was staying behind. The moment that we ran, Naz suddenly said, "Hey, there's 2 people running there," and Ronan didn't even think twice of asking where and what. He just shot, and he shot my head off completely. It was a one shot with a DMR. I was dead. There was nothing left. It happened.
There was no
Unfortunate.
suffering. It was clean. It was put down, and that has happened so many times. I mean, about a week ago, I was playing with some of my mates, and we're a 5-man squad, and 5 is not lacquer. 5
Yeah,
is crazy.
5 is chaos.
It's chaos. It's shenanigans. It's not great. So what happens is we're all pushing on the woods map, and we're at the big rock, sniper rock in the middle, and one person's like, "Hey, I'm here," and the one who's moving, "Oh no, I'm not moving," and this one didn't hear that one, and no one responded. Head gets shot off here. Hey, why did you shoot me? Okay, well, sorry, you didn't speak. And then there was an
No
argument
one
between the
spoke.
two. Did they actually speak or did they not speak? In the meantime, there's like 3 other PMCs from Buck, who knows they are, coming around the rock. Wow, my mate Diablo swings. He shoots like 4 of these people, 4 or 5, including one of our teammates that was chilling by a rock, all unanimously, just looked dead. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it
that goes crazy.
It gets crazy, but that is the thing. That's what makes it fun. That is what makes it different than just loading into a lobby and okay, there's a marker, run around. You have to communicate. I mean, Zeus, you've said it. You're a prime example of it, and I think that is something that we could touch on different games that could actually implement these kind of things. But yeah, I mean, that is something to look forward to. So if anyone's looking for something to play over December and you hate yourself so much, buy yourselves Escape from Tarkov. And,
no. If you really hate yourself, go start play League.
I hate myself.
All right, so we don't have a lot of time left, so I think we're quickly going to jump over to the fact of what each of us think is what we need to do in the side of Exo Bravo. I'll start as not everyone knows, but I am the founder, the owner of Exo Bravo. Naz, of course, is my right-hand man. He is my main admin with me. Then Kaiju is our newly attached admin that's busy, that just joined the team now about 2 weeks ago. So yeah, we started the podcast to try and push up the engagement of how we run things and how we do things. So, like I said, one of the main things that I myself and Exo Bravo would like to look into is trying to get the kids on school level up into a competitive level where by the time that they go into college that they are on a strong enough level to take on the outside world of esports. It's not a very nice place, as a lot of us know. The lobbies are harsh. The way that the people speak is not child friendly. So, I mean, my lobbies aren't even child friendly, but I'll keep that to a
This
side.
podcast isn't child friendly, my friend.
But yeah, so I would definitely suggest that Exo Bravo should definitely look into that. Like I said, I am already busy with the planning on that, and yeah, the planning is just going to get bigger from now on. We are going to introduce a few new content creators. We are going to revamp that a bit. Most of our competitive teams we cut down while we were basically on a break period. So there's a few things that went on. We are busy revamping on our competitive side. We are taking everything slow, working from a new standpoint. A few new plans that we have in place, basically, and so keep an eye out on the socials for, especially on recruitment. There's going to be recruitment that's going to be opened up for various different games and all that. So we just want to get everything sorted, and once that happens, it's going to go. And of course, if you hear any of the good sounds that's going to be over on the videos or the socials, it will be done by my man Naz right over here. He is our music producer. He's one of the big guys over there. Kaiju himself, he is the one with all the plans for the content creation. So we will be looking into that. And yeah, now you know who will be behind most of the planning on that. So Naz, what's your plans? What do you think? Ideas or anything
Just
like that?
Just a quick touch on these things. What I think we should implement is what I'm planning to implement in Exo is not music itself, but it is an indigenous sound. I know it's a strange word to use, but it is something that's going to be known only to Exo Bravo. It is something, it's going to be not a specific genre. It could be from metal to hip hop to dubstep to drum and bass. It could be something, but there will be a certain element. There will be something that you can hear in the music that makes you feel connected to a certain, let's say, game or a certain stream or something. I.e., just a quick touch on this, League of Legends has beautiful, beautiful ways of making music and bringing sounds to come to life. They have genres. They have metal with Pentakill. They have their K-pop with KDA and True Damage. They had But some are missing, Josh. Is that it? Is that all I'm missing? But yeah, we had people who then made parodies like Instalock. We have Nerdcore that focuses, it's hip hop that focuses a lot on animes and games and stuff like that. So, Rocket League, exactly. I mean, Monster Cat, part of Rocket League. That is something. When anyone says Monster Cat, I think of Rocket League's theme song, and that is what I want. That is the plan that I have for EXO. When anyone says, whatever the new brand that is going to be releasing under EXO is going to be, when anyone associates that, they're going to associate to either that streamer, that content creator, or that pro play, or something like that. So that's from the musical side. That is what I'm planning to do. And then on the esports side, it's the same, getting great players, getting them a name, and just trying to get a community built around a few people who didn't always have the opportunity to go to the places that we've been. Not everyone had the opportunity to play national CS:GO. Not everyone had the opportunity to play MSSA. So I think it's also like a stepping stone for many players, which I agree with you there, Zeus, is something that we need, not to get anything out of it, but if you can get one player to a next level where they previously would have been disadvantaged without the help of you, I think that is something worth doing.
All right, Mr. Kaiju, the floor is yours.
In terms of the content creation side, I would like to gather a lot of focus around our recruitment, gathering players who are going to stick with us and be loyal to the organization, so that we can garner the influence and the skills that we can pass on to these high school students that we would like to build up.
Perfect. All right, so guys, I think that's all that we have time for today, for episode number 2. We will...
Wait, we haven't heard your point. What is your plan, Uncle? What is your big plan?
I gave my plan in the beginning.
No, but we need to hear it again, because just in case there were some of us that weren't paying attention.
Yeah, clearly there was someone that wasn't paying attention. That's
There's some oak out there who's lost. Okay.
yeah. His name is Nez.
Yeah.
All right, so basically, just a quick recap on what I said earlier. It's putting the main focus into bringing up a safe haven for the children, that they can actually have the opportunity to get coached by professional players. EXO Bravo is a professional organization, so normally our players are of a very, very high standard. So let's say, for instance, we have our professional Fortnite players, which already there is a few players lined up. We just need to go through with the final contracts and all that. The main thing is just that there is high school leagues for Fortnite. So let's say we get a high school kid that still struggles, let's say, for instance, to crank his 90s properly. The professional player will be able to help him. You will be able to assist him. You will be able to go through I want to say intensive boot camps, but I don't want to make it sound weird. I don't want to make it sound weird. This is going to be a safe place. Please, this is going to be a safe place.
That doesn't make it better, Zeus. Stop talking, mate.
Yeah, but you guys get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no.
So basically, I want to put a big part of the focus onto that. The esports side, definitely, I want to get the teams back running. The teams that's been on holiday now for 2-3 months, I want to get them out of holiday back onto their training programs and back into their training teams and setups that they previously were in. And then on the content creating side, I want to implement the new things with the new streamers, new ideas that we want to push in, develop the brand. I mean, push the name out there. Like Naz said, we want to create a situation where every single content creator has his own voice, his own sound, his own look. So yeah, I definitely think that if we put our work into it, this is going to be something big that's going to be coming over the next year or so. We just need to stick to it, and that's it.
Okay, and one more question, Zeus. Are we still for Vox? Are we still sponsored by Vox?
I must honestly make sure about that. The reason why I say that is the Vox gaming side broke out. They have turned into Braintree Gaming, if I'm correct. So they're not part of Vox anymore. I'm not 100% sure if they're not part of Vox anymore or what actually happened there. They haven't notified me about exactly what's happening. So I'm just waiting for that full disclosure on what's happening there, what happens to the contracts, and all those things that we had set up previously. So I mean, getting into the partnership and all that, it was a whole big thing. But I would just like to know I would just like a bit of a clarification on what the scenario currently is. If they disbanded and jumped over to the other side, it's fine. I don't care. All the best to them. But yeah, Canyon definitely still up with us. Cool Time and Vuka Shot still 100% with us. So yeah, there might just be a few new names coming in very soon as well, especially on the Call of Duty and Modern Warfare side. So yeah, let's keep an eye out on the socials and see what's going to happen there.
All right, gents. Thank you for a lacquer podcast. Shout out to Mick for that code. Whoever gets a free indie game, there we go.
Enjoy the indie game. Like Naz said, shout out to Mick. I want to thank you two for putting the time in once again, sitting here with me, putting up the time, having the discussion. Yeah, for next week we have a few plans. We just want to finish up the discussion because I think next week is going to be quite a discussion between Naz and Kaju as is. I don't think I'm going to have a lot to say on next week's podcast, but I think these two will definitely be able to keep you guys busy. But yeah, it's unfortunately that's all that we had time for. We pushed a little bit past the time that we normally had, but that's fine. We do it for you guys. I would just like to say thank you for everyone that tuned in. I saw a few new people in the chat, so that's a very good thing. Yeah, that's it. Keep an eye out on the socials, and then we'll see you guys very, very soon.
Next week, same time, same place.
That's it. All right, gents. I'm going to say cheers.
Cheers.
Good night.
Have a good one.